Hey everyone, Bloodmaker here, and this is my Transcendence stage tier 9. Yeah, it's called tier 9, right? Tier 9. Honestly, the first two stages, the left and right stages, they're actually pretty straightforward. They're pretty easy to do. I think this is the right gate, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's start with the right gate then. So anyway, these bears, apparently, I've seen many people do it with just Sephiroth or just Galuf, and I opted to do with both because honestly, with two people, it actually just makes the fight a lot easier. You don't have to worry about the AWP, you don't have to worry about well, if you bring just Galuf, then you don't have to worry about AWP. If you bring Sephiroth, then you don't have to worry about him dying, because the bears do become well, they're not damage immune, they do take once, it's just that, yeah, they're taking once. So, they, at one point, I believe it's like 79%. Soon. One more hit from anyone. And, right, yeah, here, 79%. So, yeah, 79% they actually, they do their brave gain, and then they cannot be broken. Or rather, not say they cannot be broken, they can. It's just that you'll be doing once constantly, like they have like 99999, 999, defense, and then yeah, you can't really do anything that will break them without Sephiroth's burst being up. And I believe they do that like 2 or 3 more times. Oh sorry, 1 or 2 more times after this. And that's super annoying. But with Sephiroth, then yeah, you don't have to worry about that. There we go, sorry, not 99, but 250%. Reduce brave damage taken by 250%. And it is cancelled when afflicted with break or after using Spear Shot Plus. And I believe Spear Shot Plus is the one that, or was it Plus Plus? I can't remember which one was it, but it used to wipe away all your buffs. And yeah, thank God they got rid of it, because if not, then Galuf is gonna have issues with it. So these bosses is, you know, they're the same as all the other previous bosses that we have been fighting. In terms of their mechanics, they're exactly the same. Right here, Sephiroth is still doing damage even though he's hitting once. That's kind of nice because of the amount of brave gains that he has. And he actually makes this stage so much doable, but he's actually really bad for the center gate. And he himself, like if you just have his LD, isn't too bad. You might run out of skills though, that's the issue. But with his burst effect up, he's actually pretty bad because the bosses are super tanky. We only have 100 turns. And most of our damage is supposed to, at least the way that I understand the fight at least, is supposed to come from off-turn damage. So basically Galuf countering. And Vincent is also there to make sure that they don't get buffs. That's the whole gimmick of his burst blast. So yeah, so that's the whole fight basically. So what you want in that fight at least is actually more off-turn damage. But because Sephiroth actually constantly puts them at 1 and makes them so easy to be broken, you actually keep pushing the boss turns back constantly. So they're not going to take any turn, and most, or in fact all of your off-turn damage is going to be gone basically. I was actually considering running Noctis with Galuf, because Noctis is able to maintain that 5 stacks with Armature. But the only issue would be the gold frame debuff, which actually, now that I think of it, I can actually just bring a Sephiroth core or Kadash core, you know, one or the other, and then we should be able to maintain that debuff long enough for the bears to die basically. I was thinking of doing that, but in fact I actually had the idea, but I was thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna wait until Noctis gets his FR and then put him into one of the tiers. But yeah, that was the plan at least. So well, bringing Bahamut in. Bahamut goes so well with Sephiroth, but I'm not sure. I always thought that the additional break bonus, right, it actually is reflected at the top after you you break them constantly, because it goes up to 200%, right? But I've never seen it gone any higher than that. So I'm not sure if it's my understanding or is it just it's happening like more like a behind the scenes kind of thing, where you break the guy, yes, and you do get the brave. It's just that you don't really see it until you actually count how much you break bonus you get per character, you know. Then it's like, oh yeah, it actually is 200% more, that kind of thing. Because it says that it gains additional 50% party break bonus with every break to max capped out at 200%. So yeah, I don't really see the numbers changing. So not exactly sure how it works, but yeah. So yeah, for this stage you have to bring a green character. So Galuf, Cisne, who else? Sephiroth, obviously. Plenty of options, honestly. Especially Cisne, seeing as, you know, people are really pulled for her. She's like one of the favorites, basically. That's what I'm trying to say, at least. This stage, I brought 3 characters: Vincent, Simoy, and oh man, what is her name? Rosa, right? Just Rosa. And the reason why I brought 3 characters instead of like doing it with just Vincent, it is possible, I've seen people do it, is that it just takes too long. In terms of turn count, it's super efficient, but I don't like taking so long with just one character, you know, putting up a like half an hour video of Vincent just killing these people, I guess, getting broken and breaking them back in return, you know. It's just, I don't see the fun of it. I know you can do it, it's just that I find personally that it's really boring. But you know, for those of you that managed to sit through it and just use the Vincent, then props to you. You actually saved 2 characters. I brought these 2 because Rosa as a support and Simoy as a you know, a DPS when they drop below 50%. Because I thought that Vincent would actually do more damage, but surprisingly, if it still feels like he isn't doing much damage there. But his BT effect is really nice, you know, prevent the enemy from getting any buff. I believe it's quite similar to Aerith's debuff, right? The her LD's debuff, where it also prevents enemy from gaining any buffs. So yeah, it's quite similar, and I thought it was pretty strange that Vincent's burst is equivalent to Aerith's LD. I thought it was pretty fun. But yeah, so if you bring Vincent, then this fight is honestly pretty easy. These bosses are pretty tame, don't really do much HP damage. Yeah, I mean, it's their usual AoE, and it's earth damage, so it's an AoE earth damage, but other than that, it's actually pretty. It doesn't even hit very hard, honestly. So this boss is actually quite the pushover, which is why I believe so many people are able to do this with just Vincent alone. Also, this video, if you notice, is about half an hour, but towards the end, the center boss fight at least, I actually sped this up to 2.5 times, and that's because the video itself is like 39 minutes, and if I don't speed any of this video up, it actually goes beyond 1 hour. So yeah, I'm not gonna make you guys sit through 1 hour of me just, you know, especially in the third video, making really bad decisions. So yeah, you know, I just sped it up because I feel like most of us are not really here for the team comp. Yeah, we're actually here for if you're actually watching the video, at least my video, why or how to fight this boss like this. So you know, so I mean, I'm pretty sure nobody's actually struggling with the left and right gate. It's always the center gate that's causing the issue. And god, they are annoying. They are super tanky, and the score for the center gate is actually really low. Is 5,000. And it's not 5,000 in the sense of the score that you have to hit. It's actually the mission where you have to take 5,000 HP damage or less. And it's super annoying because they do AoE HP damage, and Galuf cannot cover any off topic for a while. Look at Vincent's damage, he's just 7 million. That's pretty bad. Again, he's not properly set up. There isn't anyone else running like a super support in a sense, like someone like Garnet or Yuna. Why didn't I bring Yuna? Now that I think about it. But yeah, 7 million is pretty low. Of course, I could have done more with launching them, but yeah. You know, on hindsight, I should have just brought Yuna instead of Sephiroth, and we'll be doing so much more damage, right? Man. But I'm not gonna go back and do this stage. God, this stage is annoying. I've seen people also use Freya. She's actually really good for this stage, like I was saying about the off-turn damage. So yeah, you might actually want to consider bringing Freya if you have Freya. Realm, from what I understand, is a really good choice here because, you know, she is, how do I want to put this? The stage is catered to her in that sense, you know. So yeah. Again, that 7 million could be really low because I forgot to use General Leo's oops. But yeah, it's always the center gate. The center gate is always the issue. And I'm not going to commentate over the entire video because that'll be too long. I'll just stop when I'm done talking about the center gate. And honestly, this fight is over. Not exactly sure why it's taking Vincent so long to try and kill them, but yeah, there we go. 900k, you know, pretty good, pretty good. I brought Alexander here because I was too lazy to change my summon, honestly, because Rosa is actually able to keep us salty. But I was actually trying to do the solo Vincent strat, and obviously I didn't want to do it too long because I believe I actually brought it down to feel like 50%, and then it was already like what, 15-20 minutes. I was probably doing something wrong, but yeah. So I decided, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna. No, it was like 30%. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna just bring 2 other characters. You know, characters that I don't foresee myself using in the future, and just to get this stage done and over with faster. So right here is just me trying to kill them faster. Also, Bihama would have been really good with Simoy, because his EX is the one that actually does the most damage among all his skills, even his LD. Or at least I'd like to think so, because his LD, yeah, there we go. He does this, which does a lot of damage, and it doesn't do like the follow-up Lens of Atrophy and Chain Spell. It just does Chain Spell and Total Annihilation. So his EX actually does more HP dumps in total, the way I feel, because his EX is able to do 1 million, and that's without any high armor or any support high armor, I believe. I don't think my Rosa had any support high armor. But yeah, so pre-stage, pretty sure most of us can do this, and I'm just gonna wait for the video to run until it actually hits the last gate, or rather the center gate. So yeah, been talking for, what was this, 13 minutes? Yeah, I've been talking for 30 minutes straight. My throat is getting a little bit dry. So I wasn't sure which was the most damaging skill in a sense. So yeah, Lens of Atrophy, I believe that was it. Can't remember if there was any LD left, but if there was, I would have just done it. So yep, I believe this is it for, yep, there we go. And Vincent's burst effect is up for a really long time, honestly. 10 turns, I believe that's the max that we've ever seen, right? Like 10. I'm pretty sure he's not the only one, but I think there are others that actually does, like has the 10 turn duration up, but still 10, wow, that's really long. So 2.5 times. I really hope that you guys are still able to gather what you need from this video, because 39 minutes, guys, is really insanely long. So these stupid birds, they start off with their recast gauge active, and as you can see, it actually puts everyone down to like slightly below half health. So it is possible to get broken and still survive, but you just have to be really careful, because there is a chance where at the later part of the stage, at least, where they actually do 2 AoE attacks, HP attacks in a row. And basically the fight is honestly pretty straightforward. If you see them do an all attack, whether it's their recast or whether it's just their normal skill, it is always an AoE HP attack. Always. You guys can just look through this, but it's always a HP attack. And these bosses, they are super annoying. They actually get they actually cleanse their Brv, or rather cleanse their debuffs at 89, 59, 49, 29, 19, and 9. And they actually grant themselves a Brv shield at least a 1 million Brv shield at 89, 69, 49, 29, and 9. So yes, there is a lot of shields to go through. And Vincent is actually pretty bad for this, or rather Vincent is actually pretty bad in terms of HP damaging, because he doesn't have any Brave gain. So if they actually put up shields, he's not able to do any damage at all. As you can see pretty soon. There we go, 57,000. 57,000 from a C90 character who has a burst gun active. You know, that's pathetic. That's really pathetic damage. And it actually takes a while for this team to shred the shield, which I find it pretty surprising considering the fact that like Vincent is able to go so often, and also he has his follow-up attack. But I guess it doesn't do much. Brave shaving, I guess. I believe Sephiroth's EX is actually really good for the shield, but it's not like a instant break like in the old days where you know, when you use the EX and the shield just gone just like that. But no, it doesn't. Also, the nice thing about Sephiroth's EX is now that now it actually breaks the opponent. But they actually don't do much physical attacks. It's like I think 2 or 3 of their attacks are physical. I think it was just 2, and they have 4 attacks, so it's like 50%. So Galu's counter is like, you know, once in a while. His final shot is always active, but it's more of his normal counter, because it really helps that, you know, to have that additional bit of often damage. A bit of a spoiler, I actually went all the way to 97 turns. You have 100 turns to finish this. About the last 90 plus turns is actually just me trying to regen as much health as I can, because Galu has passive healing on the whole party. So yeah. But yeah, 97, that's insane, man. In terms of HP damage received, it would have been lesser if Galuf actually managed to take his last turn, because everybody else was full. Or yeah, I believe everybody else was full, and the only one that was missing HP was actually Galuf. But there we go, and that is one of their AoE attacks. As you can see, it's always an all attack. So like I was saying, you gotta be very careful, because they will do, most of the time at least, 2 AoE attacks in a row. And if you're you know, if you don't time it right, if you're super unlucky in the turn order, and A and B goes constantly, because at one point in time they actually took like 4 turns or 2 turns in a row each, so it's 4 turns in total. So if they both did their AoE attacks, like A did the AoE followed by B, I believe that will actually put everyone down to below half. And if they do their recast ability, it's like a guaranteed wipe. Well, Galu will survive, but there's no way that you can finish the stage with a perfect clear, basically. So you gotta be very careful. You might actually want to manipulate the turn such that only one boss will take a turn at a time, instead of the usual A goes and B goes, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, guys, all you do is just be really careful with the turn order. And also, something to take note is that these bosses are super tanky. I mean, it's like what, 60 million health, which is a lot considering the fact that they also have that 1 million shield at the gated HP threshold, so it's super annoying. So you might want to actually time your burst, like when you actually use your burst, when to summon, you know, stuff like that. I recommend at 69 and 39%, so just after they cleanse. You know, if you are actually running a debuff core at least. In terms of damage, I believe you are constantly doing capped HP damage other than when the shield is up. So a debuff call might not necessarily be needed for this fight. What you can do is actually, you know, bring some buff calls in that sense, where it allows your character to do more damage basically. Because it's honestly a race to finish, for at least this team to finish this fight within 100 turns. And I honestly have no one else to blame but Sephiroth and myself. Because I actually went into burst with Sephiroth, and like I said, it's a really bad idea because I really want Galuf to actually damage them constantly. So I think the last thing I'll talk about is the AWP. And the AWP is actually really easy to maintain with Sephiroth and Vincent in the party. One of it is to apply a gold debuff, yeah, you know, the Sephiroth debuff on the boss, and whenever it ends its turn, it will increase the AWP by 2. And these bosses, they actually don't take the AWP doesn't tick when they take a turn, so all the more, you know, you want to have more counter attacks basically. And it increases when player inflicts 4 or more debuffs in a turn, but it seems to be, I'm not sure why it's increasing when Vincent takes a turn, because he actually doesn't increase it by 4. he actually puts like 2 or 3 debuffs, yeah. Unless you count his LD, then yeah, that's the one that really increases it. It goes down by 1 whenever you take a turn. So yeah, so basically that gold debuff is the one that's really maintaining the AWP, or rather increasing the AWP. So again, you can just use a call, a Sephiroth and Kadash call. I'm not sure whether, because this fight is pretty long, so I'm not sure whether those 2 calls are enough for the entire fight. But the good thing is that the bosses can't cleanse the debuff away, so yeah. And I think I pretty much covered everything for this fight. I brought Muhammad thinking that it will actually improve my damage, but actually, on hindsight at least, I think it would have been better to bring someone like Alexander, so that I can just heal up the damage towards the end, you know, at like the 9% mark, or maybe slightly lower than 9% mark, you know, after they take turns, maybe 5% mark, and then just go into summon and then really just burst them down, because I want the heal and I want to finish them off before letting them take a turn. So Alexander is actually the perfect candidate for healing and trying to kill them down. So again, should not have really burst with Sephiroth, because Vincent's attacks are all AoE, so it will just constantly push both the bosses back. So Galuf can actually delay, or rather let the boss take a turn by either breaking them out of order or just using cover. And you see me use it quite a few times, and that's because either Vincent's cover is running out, or I just want the boss to take a turn. And I think that covers the entire fight. From here on out, it's just me trying to kill the boss, because as long as you play safe, you should be able to finish this fight. Not an issue. It's just more of a turn thing, you know, making sure you are within the turn order, or rather within the turn limit. And if you are not stupid like me and bring Sephiroth and burst with him not just once, twice, then yeah, you know, you shouldn't have an issue. If you are running this team, then I recommend that you burst with Vincent instead, so that you can prevent the bosses from getting buffs, so you don't have to worry about the AWP. Alright, the AWP. Again, I was explaining how to increase it. The boss will actually decrease the AWP whenever it buffs itself by 3 ticks, and it will always buff itself with 5 buffs. So it will always go down by 15. Always, because unless you have like plenty of frame buffs, the boss is able to cleanse them. If you notice, it actually cleanse all, even the frame ones. So unless you have like 5 gold debuffs, which I don't think is possible, because I think we only have like 3 characters that can apply gold debuffs: Laguna, Sephiroth, and Kadash. So yeah, definitely not possible to reduce the number of buffs they get. Oh wait, Seymour is also able to put a gold debuff, right? If I'm not wrong. Was it him? I can't remember. I could be wrong. So yeah. So I mean, end of the story is just make sure that you have enough op counts such that when it goes down by 15, you are still somewhat in the safe zone. So yeah, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm just gonna let the video play out from here on out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.